Hello, everyone. I'm son of Kevin Gallagher. We've got
I'm Conan O'Brien. This is my sidekick, Andy Richter.
Mr. Sonny Parlin. So those of you that haven't noticed, we are doing our first live podcast in person at...
It's not really live.
Well,
it's kind of live.
Close. It's kind of live. We're
Live-ish.
recording. It's live.
It's live to the people that are here watching.
We are at
For those
Chill
unfortunate
Coffee
souls.
in Brandon, Florida. A great jiu-jitsu-owned establishment by my good friend, our good friend, Robbie Donofrio. Black belt, Gracie Tampa Black belt, Chill Coffee. Thank you so much for having us here.
Donofrio.
Donofrino. We did that show last week. But yeah, great, man. Super excited to be here.
I'm very excited. This is much better than the dungeons of our living dwells,
I can touch you. I can reach out and they can see your pretty face. We can put our hands on each other's knees.
The on-air arguments can be more fun now. Just take it into the other room and grapple it out.
There actually is a chance of physical violence between us. There's always the implied idea of physical violence.
I don't know, we don't really disagree about too much.
Not really.
Nothing that matters anyway.
Not in a while. We have had our spats. We've had our on our spats before, but that's some of our best shows. Yeah. Sonny is a professional button pusher. That's what we keep him around for.
We have our list of topics that we're going to talk about today.
All right. You don't want to shoot shit a little bit first?
Okay, we
jump
can do
right
that. Yeah, I just didn't know where we're going first.
Hey, Sonny, how are you? Good to see you. I guess it's business time, folks. Hey, whoa, new space, professional time now. Sorry, Sonny, didn't mean to distract you. The folks at home want to know how you're doing. How's your day going, Sonny?
How is my day? My day's okay. I got up and taught the 6 a.m. class today.
Yeah, that's rough.
Yeah, it's rough, dude. The 6 a.m. class fucks up my whole week, and I do it every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I teach the 6 a.m. class.
I do not know how you sick, crazy freaks can wake up at 5 a.m. and go do jiu-jitsu.
Don't you have a 6 a.m. class?
I've never been. They tell me I do.
Yeah. That's what I did until I needed to let the guy go.
Now you got to do it. That's my greatest fear in the world.
Is that guy leaving?
The guy who showed up, the brown belt that showed up and said, "Hey man, I'll run your 6 a.m. class." And I go, "Awesome, you got a free membership." Decides one day he doesn't want to do it anymore. Now I've got 15 people that want to get up at 6 a.m. and I got to get my ass out of bed. Yeah. There's no way in hell. There's no way in hell I can do it.
Yeah, and then on Wednesdays, tomorrow, my busiest day, I got to teach the 6 a.m., the 10:30 a.m., the 7:15 p.m., and then I have a private lesson at 8 p.m.
That's a long day. My Fridays are like that sometimes, and I try not to book too much together like that. But it does get rough when you have them striking together like that. It gets crazy. Yeah. But 6 a.m. is like I tell people the only way I'm ever going to teach a 6 a.m. class is if I'm still awake from the night before. Yeah. They're like stumble into that bitch. There's no way.
It's not something I enjoy. I mean, I like the guys that are in the class, and I like when I'm there and I'm actually teaching. But the getting up part and getting my ass to the gym, that part sucks.
That's rough.
Yeah,
I don't know how you fucking do that shit.
What are you gonna do though?
Anyway, I taught last night. I had a pretty exciting weekend.
What'd you do last night?
Well, last night I taught last night, but Sunday night was a humdinger. Sunday was a fun day for Coach Kevin.
Oh, is this the day that your brother took off?
This is the day that my brother ran out of it. So for the folks at home, it's funny. I'm laughing about this so I don't cry because it's really sad.
Does he have dementia or something?
Schizophrenia. He's a paranoid schizophrenic, and he's been institutionalized for probably the majority of his adult life.
He's institutionalized.
Yeah. He's not. He lives in an assisted living facility, voluntarily. Like we can do quote unquotes now because
so they just let people come in and out.
Yes, he is allowed to leave whenever he wants. However, there are mandates for him to be able to remain there as a resident, which he has to follow, and one of them is he cannot leave freely. You have to follow the rules.
I see.
You know what I mean? So he is not. Did
he know he was leaving when he left, or?
Well, yeah, he's. Well, I mean.
I don't know anything about schizophrenia.
What tends to happen, and I had a long conversation with the guy who runs the facility, who is this guy named Alvy, who's a very nice guy who runs the facility. And to be honest with you, we're talking about state-sponsored medical care here for people with mental illness, which is not great. It's not a nice place. I go there and I literally... I feel bad for him having to exist in this environment, but it's the best thing for him. Either that or he's going to be living on the streets. And we cannot, as a family, afford private care because that shit's expensive, and we cannot keep track of him because he's crazy.
Right.
So we put him in here because it's the best thing other than him being a street person. So what happens is over the course of time, people tend to get upset. And they start to freak out. The sickness starts to take hold, and they start to think about the idea of, like, why are we here? Things are going to start to fall apart. I want to get out of here. I'm in jail. I'm in prison. This is a horrible, horrible thing. Can we not do this?
It's like me at the 6 a.m. class.
It's like you at the 6 a.m. class. Exactly. So after we start doing this, over a certain period of time, he's like, I want to get out of here. I can't be here anymore. This place sucks. So as he's trying to leave, like, I wake up in the morning on Sunday morning, I get a call. I'm like, hey, what's going on? So your brother has broken out of the facility because he wants to leave. And I'm like, oh, well, that kind of sucks. Granted, he's done this before. It's not my first rodeo. He usually always comes back. He usually comes to my house because we hang out. And the guy who runs the place sends me a picture. So first of all, the fucking guy dug a hole. Like there's a fence around the place. He woke up in the middle.
He walked out the front door.
Yeah, he woke up, it was locked. He woke up in the middle of the night and he dug a hole under the fence to go under the fence
rather than climb the fence.
Rather than climb the fence. So he climbed, like, dug a hole, like like he's fucking like
Bugs Bunny, or
like
something.
Bugs Bunny or some shit, like digging the Albuquerque or whatever. So I get the call and I'm like, okay, cool. My brother left, and I'm not too worried because he usually
like
always
Shawshank.
Yeah, he usually always comes back. So I'm sitting on the couch, and I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm not going to worry too much about this, but I will come back later and revisit this if he doesn't show up to my house, which you probably will. So about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he doesn't show up, and I'm like, I'm going to my mom's house to watch the Bucks game. So I go to my mom's house, and I got my dog. We're watching the Bucks game, and now I'm getting a little bit concerned. So I posted a picture onto Facebook. Hey, this is my brother, right? My brother has left his facility. Can we please take him to, can we please keep an eye out for him? He lives near Ybor City, so I assume he would be hanging out in Ybor because he probably just wanted to go get a beer. That's what I thought. Just what he usually does. So halfway through the hour or so, like, that night, people start hitting me, and I'm driving home from my mom's house from Brandon. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to drive through Ybor City just to see if I see him. People are coming. It's fine. Come on in. No big deal. Welcome to the coffee shop.
So, what about conjugal visits for your brother?
Yeah, he gets conjugal visits all the time.
He does.
No, he doesn't get conjugal visits.
Well, I figure that might keep him there.
I mean, if I could get him a hooker, I would.
Right.
But I don't know that that's gonna. I don't know that's gonna do the trick.
It could be his sister showing up to visit him.
I don't know. We go.
Cousin.
He's gonna bang my sister.
Cousin,
conjugal.
I'm saying,
Yeah, I get it. In a non-sexual manner.
No. Conjugal isn't he gets to fuck him, but, you just sign him in as relative or something and gets a blowjob under the table. I don't know how they do it.
I used to take him. Is
that wrong? To get a
funny little
for a schizophrenic person?
side story. I used to take him out to strip clubs and I get him some beers because why the fuck's the fucking difference? Who gives a shit? But he started getting weird and I couldn't do it anymore. He started one night. I took him out and he got so drunk he passed out on the floor. We had to take him to the ER. It was a whole fucking thing. It was a whole fucking thing. So we don't do that anymore. So I'm driving from my mother's house and I see him in Brandon. And I'm driving by, and I'm like, hey, Richard, like, what's going on, buddy? Like, what are you doing? I'm driving down 7th Avenue. I honk the horn. I look at him. I'm like, Richard, man, come on, buddy. Party's over. You enjoyed your day. Get back in the truck. Let's go take you back to your home and call it an afternoon. And normally, when he sees me, he's like, hey, all right, what's up? Let's do this thing. He's very compliant. Well, he had been off his meds for quite some time now. We're talking, 40.
Let me guess, he ran from you?
Dude, Sonny, when I'm telling you, like, he came up to me to the car, and he was like, you got any money? And I was like...
Did he recognize you?
Yeah, no, he knew who I was. And I was like, nah, man. And it's sad. I'm laughing, but it is what it is.
It's a good story.
Yeah. So I'm like, no, I mean, the fuck, you took any fucking money. Get in the fucking truck, you asshole. I'm trying. Everybody's fucking worried about you. You're not getting any fucking money. You want to go party? Get the fuck out of here. We're going fucking home. So he's like, I'm not going back there. It's a death camp. I got shot there last week. And I'm looking at him like, what in the fuck? Like, he's been off his meds for quite some time. And, like, just as a kind of little side stop on this, you know, when you're medicated for schizophrenia, it's not cute. You know, you're pretty much, it's not cute. You're pretty much completely sedated.
Yeah.
You know, for the last 25 years of your life. So you see him, he just kind of sits there drooling on himself. And there's a part of you that goes, man, this is sad.
Right.
The cure is worse than disease.
Right.
Until guess what? You see the fucking disease again.
Right.
And this is the first time I had seen him in a full-blown thing.
Right.
For quite some time. Right? So I'm looking at him, I'm like, Richard, come on, dude. Like, please relax. He's like, fuck you. And he starts running down the fucking street. And I got my little dog with me. I got my little chihuahua. So I can't just stop in the middle of 7th Avenue. So I'm driving around with him. And luckily, one of my buddies, Mr. Tom DeGeorge from the Crowbar. Thank you so much. I love you forever for what you did for me. He's an amazing fucking human being. Everybody knows him, knows he's awesome. So he comes up to me and he's like, hey, man, like, what can I do to help? And I'm like, dude, just go park my truck so I can follow him around. So he takes my truck, he parks my truck, and I've got my damn chihuahua. Well, I'm sorry, this story's getting long. I apologize. It's a funny one, though, I promise. I'm walking down 7th Avenue with this fucking chihuahua, and people are coming up to me, oh, your dog's so cute. I'm like, brother, back the fuck up. Yeah, don't leave me the fuck alone. I'm on phone with 911 calling the cops like, hey, my brother's, you know, schizophrenic, running around. I'm trying to keep an eye on him. So eventually the cops come, and I get him sedated. I get him calm enough to think about, okay, look, let's take you to the hospital. I get him in my truck. I take him and get him a cheeseburger, and we try to take him to the hospital. He's like, I don't want to go to this hospital. I'm like, what the fuck? I want to go to Memorial Hospital. So, like, I take him. He's like, I'll get out, run, and get away. I'm like, Richard, do not get out of this goddamn truck. I will take you wherever you say. I took him to one hospital, and I'm having to take him to another hospital. Long story short, my brother's fine. I get him in the finally get him to the emergency room after about 3-4 hours of messing around with him. I get him to the emergency room. He gets his Ativan, and he looks at me and he goes, hey, I'm good now. You can just go ahead and go home. He's like, I'm cool. You can just go home now. And I'm like, oh, well, thank you, Richard. I'm glad that you're good now. So, folks at home, long story short, mental illness is a horrible thing. Coach Kevin had a very, very rough weekend the last couple days. It was a crazy, crazy time. I hope you enjoyed this story. I feel like it was a little bit long-winded, but you know what? That's what we're here for at the coffee shop. So, Sonny, parlay over to you.
I don't think I can top that one. I haven't had any relatives run out and, run the streets crazy since my dad.
Just picture me in sweatpants with my dog, my 4-pound chihuahua, in arm and toe, running around chasing a crazy person that's screaming about fucking death camps. And it's one of the unfortunate parts of being an old man show is that we have to acknowledge stories like this in our lives. And we're going to have to do a show soon on like ED. Yeah, of course, that's coming up. I'm sure it's one of our Cialis.
As a matter of fact, we'd like to thank our new sponsor, Cialis.
Right, exactly.
For helping us out, making our wives happy.
I don't have these issues. I'm strong like bull, by the way.
Yeah,
just FYI.
Me too.
I'm just
me
Sonny,
too.
Whatever Sonny's dealing with.
But we've heard that you poor bastards.
We're good. But if any of you, the folks at home, are experiencing any erectile dysfunction as the children are playing Connect 4 in the corner, we're here to help. We offer a service to the community.
What service do we offer?
Many services. Many services that many sponsors would be willing to give us money.
Kevin has got a new side hustle as a fluffer.
Oh, Ian Murray is walking the door. Ian Murray, what's up, man? How are you, sir? You good? Come on in, folks.
Actually, here's our real
Just
porn
don't walk
fluffer.
in front of the car. Don't work in front of the car.
Come this way.
Real quick. Here we go.
Our porn fluffer,
Our
right
porn
here.
fluffer, Mr. Ian.
What's up, Ian?
Hey, Ian Murray. Good to see you. Don't neck over the cords. Good job.
Usually you don't see Ian on screen.
No, exactly. Moving right along. Well, Sonny. So, do we want to talk about some
Belt
jiu-jitsu?
ceremonies. We can talk about belt ceremonies.
Parlay this right into the belt ceremony.
Yeah.
So
fluffers to belt ceremonies.
So belt ceremonies. First of all, we come up in a jiu-jitsu community or jiu-jitsu lineage that uses belt ceremonies. We always have. I don't know that Rob. I'm trying to remember when we started using belt ceremonies because I don't think that Rob did them in the beginning. I think it was just that when you got your belt, there wasn't a particular time. He just came and hit you with the belt and you got your belt.
That's kind of how I do it still sometimes.
Yeah.
Like if it's like between, so we do May and December, and if somebody impresses me, does something, whatever, and I think they deserve a promotion between those times, then I'll just hit them on the back with a new belt or a stripe or something in the middle of class, because I feel like they deserved it for whatever reason, or it's been long enough, I don't know, and I'll just do it like that. But then, like I've been kind of holding back lately because promotions are coming up, and we have one in December, so we're going to be giving out some stripes and some belts. Not too much. Nope. Definitely no brown belts this time, but we have a black belt we're promoting, Dylan Cameron.
Well deserved, by the way. Dylan's the man.
Yeah, he's beast, and he's the shortest time to black belt out of anyone that I've ever promoted.
I mean, he deserves it.
I think he's been training for 6 years or something like that.
He deserves it.
No, yeah, 100%. I mean, he competes every weekend.
That kind of
does
goes.
the 4 things. So, are you guys ready? Here are the 4 things required of you to go above and beyond your everyday training. Okay, cross training, taking private lessons, going to seminars, and competing. You do those 4 things, you're bound to get better faster. Always.
And, there's to a certain degree you have to, I don't necessarily believe in the letter of the law. You need to be training for 10 years to get your black belt.
No, for sure.
And I think, honestly, in the IBJJF system, I think it's 5 years is the minimum to get your black belt. Now, I might be wrong. I think it's along those lines. 5 to 6 years is the minimum because they do have minimums. Purple belt is 3-year minimum. Blue belt's a 1-year minimum. That they will recognize you as an actual black belt.
I don't recognize the IBJJF as someone who can recognize me.
The only reason I know, but the only reason
I give them no power.
The only reason I say that is because the jiu-jitsu world is a world of chaos sometimes, and to have something that is at least something on paper that says this is where we are, this is something as a standardized version of what should be what in terms of things to think of, regulation.
I don't mind if something like that existed. I just don't think it should come from them. Anyone but them.
Well, but who else though?
Anyone.
But no one else has.
Danaher could do it.
No one else has.
Enzo, I don't care.
No one else has, so therefore this is all we got.
Right.
It's kind of the way I look at it. You know what I mean? Right or wrong, and we could go into debate of whether or not the IBJJF has done anything significant for our sport. And I personally believe that whether you like them or love them, it's not fair, it's not great, sometimes it's biased. They have really created something from nothing. From the old days of just madness, what was jiu-jitsu to where we are now. And without them, the spread of the art might not have been where it is. We could talk about those things. But the point I'm trying to make is that I forgot. But
that's the weed.
Yeah, it's the weed. It's the coffee and the freaking the fucking I don't know the stress and derangement I've dealt with all fucking weekend long.
What the hell were we talking about, Jeff Rod?
Bell ceremonies.
But what was
Jeff Rod's in the house.
With the minimum amount of time it took to become a black belt, IBJJF, you don't acknowledge them. You're acknowledging that they had minimum requirements and that those belts are recognized.
Right. So back to the belt ceremony.
All right. So you can edit that, right?
Oh, we're gonna leave that in.
Oh God, no!
We've got.
See, this is why I don't watch these things.
Rod don't give a shit.
I'll get cringy.
Rod don't give a shit. He just wants an hour. An hour.
Cringe.
He gets paid by the hour. $100 an hour. Right? We get an hour worth of footage. He gets to go home. We call it a day. You think he edits this shit out? You don't give a fuck. Rod is not your friend, whether you're gonna believe it or not.
What do you mean? He looks like my friend.
He's a friendly guy. He's just
very friendly.
He's
Rod.
on the clock.
Oh, I see.
So, back to belt ceremony. Back to belt ceremonies.
Sorry, I feel like I need to stay on topic now because there's money.
We
There's
love
money
you,
changing hands.
Sponsors are really doing a good job sending some money. So, back to the situation at hand as far as belt ceremonies go. Like, there are mandates for the length of time in which someone should be training in order to get the belt. However, I think that if you're going to get your belt in 6 years, 7 years, you have to be one of those people that didn't get hurt, didn't take time off, didn't move to another gym.
Went above the fold and did those extra things we're talking about.
And went above and beyond, has competed at a high level,
Right.
attacked and tapped black belts at a high level, traveled around, did all of the things, trained morning, noon, night. Like, Gordon Ryan said that before he got his black belt in 5, I think it was.
Right.
And, like, the 5 years that he put in equaled the amount of total hours of a random that put in 12 hours because he literally lived at the gym.
And it's true because every time I roll with this kid, he feels like a new grappler.
Yeah.
Like a better grappler.
Yeah.
And I'm rolling with him. I rolled with him last night actually, and and I'm just like, man, he's jumped up another level. This fucking guy.
Well, you got guys like Kit Dale. Kit Dale got his black belt in 3 years. Same thing with BJ Penn. He got his black belt in 3 years. I just saw something on Facebook. We talk about this in a second. I got another thing to add to this in a second. But we're on point. Shut the fuck up, Rod. It's my show. Just sit over, do your fucking job. Make sure the camera works. So when we talk about like the length of time, BJ Penn got his black belt in 3 years, but he also won the worlds at black belt in 3, as a brown belt after 2.5 years of training. He's a phenom. There are some people out there that are prodigies. But there's also the side of the coin that I tend to stick to a little bit more. And I think Sonny does the same because we just come from that tradition that if you're going to be a black belt, not only are you indoctrinated into our philosophy as a jiu-jitsu program, as a jiu-jitsu family, as a jiu-jitsu community, like, you are now like one of the prophets. You are now have gone to that point to where like not only are you there, like you believe it wholeheartedly, and
Right.
you have become a part of that. And you just can't do that in 3-4 years, in my opinion. It takes longer than that to do that. And there's people out there that say it's wrong, people out there that say it's right, that don't agree with me, that would beat me down for that. But that's just the way I feel.
No, I agree. And furthermore, I like for me, it just happens to line up most of the time, right? Where you see a guy that comes into the gym, signs up, and they roll for roughly a year, and it's like you start noticing that guy. You're like, oh, okay, he's moving around with the blue belts. He's doing pretty good. Oh, yeah, right? And it just so happens to work out that it's usually anywhere between 10 months and maybe over a year and a half, something like that. And then same thing will happen a few years later. It's like a couple years later, it's like, oh, look at this guy. Yeah, he's back and he's ready for his purple belt. And so it just because you know who in your gym is good and capable of bringing out, what someone else is capable of. Like if I want to test somebody for whatever belt, I can have them roll with X person, and I know that person will show me that person's level.
Right.
So I just put that. I usually put the person with, people like that who I know will expose the level and see how they do. And, but there's no need for sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you good.
There's no need anymore, I think, for these, some schools do belt tests, which is weird to me because it's like.
Ridiculous.
Why would you test somebody? It's like, bro, you're testing them every day.
I wouldn't even know what the criteria. Exactly. You don't. I do belt tests for a blue belt, and I don't even say it for a blue belt. I do it for my intro people because I think it helps your retention. In order to get your first 3 stripes on your white belt, you have to go through our intro curriculum and take a test every 2 months in order to start training with the big boys in advanced class. And that is the only time I will ever make someone take a test. I don't even like it, but I do it because it helps people that aren't savages, that don't care about losing or winning and will just find things on the fly. It gives them some kind of foundation, some kind of basis to be able to stick around, something to shoot for.
Right, exactly.
I would never in a million years have someone say, okay, cool, this is your purple belt test. It's like, what in the fuck? I wouldn't even know what to base that on. Because the thing about a purple belt is that the reason you get your purple belt isn't because you know XYZ that I've taught. It's because you have created your own game at that point. Like, you have taken the information that I have given you and you have deciphered that and pieced it together and created the foundation, which will be the rest of your refinement up to black belt. You know, and like to say like you need to know a fucking scissor sweep or you need to know a cross collar trick and show me how to do it, it's ridiculous.
Once you're
you're good.
Pulling up my glasses like I'm going to read
talk
something.
some more. At least you're not looking at your
Once
fucking
you're
phone,
a purple
asshole.
belt, you're kind of responsible for your own learning at that point, because it's like you've heard most of the curriculum,
exactly,
and now it's time to start making your own impact.
My thing I always say to this when I see purple belts, and it's.
Here's a note for purple belts: stop coming to class late, skipping the warm-ups and shit.
Purple belts fucking think
fucking
they run.
Purple belts,
you're
bro.
fine, purple belts.
They think they run the world.
But you're fine, purple belts. We all know who you are, you cocky fucking pricks. You fucking go ahead and pretend like you can do whatever you want, and the black belts instructors will be in the back going, yeah, that's Tom. He thinks he knows everything. But that's part of what being a purple
belts
belt
walk
is.
in at like 45 minutes after class starts, like, okay, the tough rolls are here now.
Exactly. But a purple belt.
Talent is in the room
Your
now.
job as a purple belt is to learn to be a killer. And in order to learn to be a killer, you have to kind of have that cocky ego to go out there and fire things off and think you're the man and do all these things like that. And then you get about closer to your brown belt and you realize you don't know shit.
You know, it's funny too, because I was talking to some people, because I've done, not as much as you competition-wise, but I've done a fair amount. And one thing that I always tell people about, doing jiu-jitsu competitively is that you can never go into a match with doubt, right? You never want to go into a match thinking, well, I might beat this guy, but he's pretty good. Like, I don't know. No, it doesn't matter who it is. You have to, in your mind, be like, I'm going to go in here and rip this dude's head off.
That's it.
I don't care who it is.
And you learn that as a purple belt.
Right. That's when that comes out.
You learn that. You learn that as a purple belt.
Yeah.
And then you start to kind of refine that through your brown belt years. You start to realize I can't just say, well, this Rob always used to say this, Rob Kahn, and he used to always say this, the difference between a purple belt and a black belt, and it always kind of resonated in my head, and I thought it was pretty amazing. Like, a purple belt will see a Kimura and be like, I am going to finish this Kimura because this is the Kimura that I'm going to finish right now. Now, as you start to progress, you go for the Kimura and you realize, oh, there's the Kimura. But if he does this, I'm going to go for the guillotine. If he does this, I'll enter into that backside 50-50. Or maybe I'll just get this sweep. Oh, shit, that failed. Let me go back. You start to think big picture. You start to think outside the lines.
Purple belt is also, I remember when I was a purple belt, that's when I was starting to collect black belt scalps, you know?
Yeah, of course.
It's like, ooh.
Little
it's
notch in your belt.
I remember the first time I caught a black belt, I was a purple belt, and I was like, ooh, that's what that feels like.
And it's funny because the black belt doesn't really give a shit, because the black belt could have been, maybe sometimes it did. Black belt could have been like, hey, I was working on my fucking, my armbar escape, or I was trying to give you the heel.
You know when you catch somebody for real and when they're fucking around.
Well, you also know that there is a point where I know as a black belt when one of my purple belt catches me, and that's why I always say, like, I know you have a philosophy on, I don't care if my guys catch me, and I kind of do, but I'm going to tell you, like, if you're the first time you catch me, you're going to earn that shit. And the reason why is because I know that's going to be a moment in your life where you go, oh, today was the best day ever. I submitted Coach Kevin.
No, I think a lot of people at my gym understand that if they do catch me, especially like lower belts, like blue belts or purple belts, like you just never know. And this is why I always tell people to, be careful about celebrating rolls in the gym, because you just never know. It's like, maybe I'm working on something. Maybe I'm not using my right hand tonight. But you just don't know.
But the thing of it is this. Like, your guys may know that, but sometimes they don't. So
yeah, but who cares?
No one cares. But you still fucking remember. I'm an elephant. And the next time I roll with you, I'm going to make sure you at least know that, yeah, you caught me, and that's cool. And I'm not going to be a bitch and be like, well, that's good. I was working on that, or I hurt my knee today. I'm going to be like, I'm going to show you that, like, you're fucking, that's cute, but don't get too big on yourself,
All right, so
kid.
I'll give you an example, right? So I had a blue belt come back to me from school. He had gone away to school, and he's back now. He's back training with his kid Xavier. He's a good kid, solid blue belt. And we're rolling, like, he just got back, and we're having our first roll together. And you know, he's in my guard trying to pass, and he backstepped into the honey hole and got me in a leg lock. And mostly it's because I didn't expect that from him. I didn't expect him to like bust that out, you know?
Right, exactly.
And so I wasn't ready for it. And of course he got me. And I was like, I didn't say anything to him. All I said was, good job, man. And we just kept rolling.
Right.
Because I didn't care. Didn't even catch him that day. I waited. A couple days later, we rolled again. Maybe a week later, we rolled again. And I smashed him, you know, because now I'm like, okay, this guy's capable of getting me.
Now I know you got that backstep in his game.
So now I go for the smash.
Right.
And, you know, it's no big deal to me. And so I think my guys kind of understand that, like, it's like they might catch me here and there. And it's like, but, you know.
It's that hidden intent, too. Like, when you start to, that's the other side of, like, the brown belt, purple belt area up and down and stuff like that as you get a little better. One of the things that distinguishes the purple belt, I think it's what Rob said, I think I fucked it up, is the ability to hide your intent. You know what I mean? Like, as a purple belt, I see the Kimura coming a mile away, right? As a brown belt, you're kind of tickling his leg or going for something else, and you hit the Kimura. As a black belt, like, you know, I do whatever the fuck I want to do, and you have no idea. You don't even know what I was going for in the first place. But anyway.
Yeah, no, I just don't have this need anymore to, like, prove myself to people. I just roll and have fun, and I typically, you know, I'll typically come out on top or do well with guys. But there's also, I have some pretty savage black belts in my gym, some pretty savage brown belts, and you know, I just got some really tough characters, and when we roll, it's like anybody's day.
It's fun.
Like, I remember, like, I had this guy Brett. You know Brett Ducharme?
Yeah.
Yeah, like Brett. Brett came to me as a brown belt, and I remember we used to beat him up, you know. But then he learned how we do things. He learned the legs, and now it's like when I roll with Brett, it's like, bro, to like have a good day with Brett is amazing. It's like, I write that shit down in my diary. He's so good.
I'm getting to that point. It's exciting. I'm excited. I just rolled with one of my kids the other day who's eventually going to just murder me. This kid Cayman, who's a absolute freaking savage. I'm talking 250 pounds. He was on Josh LeDuc's last Zapatero.
Okay, cool.
250-pound college wrestler. Like, and just when I say 250 pounds, like, looks like an action figure. Like, ripped.
Yeah.
22-year-old kid, 21-year-old kid. And, like, he is getting good. Like, really, really, holy shit. Like, I can't believe how good this kid is getting. And there's going to be a point here pretty soon where he's just going to murder me.
Yeah.
Not just
it's coming.
And not just because he's bigger, stronger, more athletic, because he's more technical. You know, and because he understands jiu-jitsu at a more intimate level. And it's cool. It's exciting for me to start to get to that point.
Well, we were talking about, you know, belt ceremonies and stuff like that. And, you know, I've seen a couple of posts. I don't want to say from who, because these are like some well-known and respected
just
black
fucking
belts.
say it, you
I
pussy.
don't remember the
Just
name.
fucking say it.
It's because the
Anyway,
thing is,
it's
I
not important.
can't remember.
Don't worry about it.
Honestly, I can't remember. But
don't worry about it.
some people have come forward, some well-known and respected black belts, saying that they think the belt whipping, is primitive.
Now they're pussies. Now they can fuck off. That's ridiculous.
Right. And
Primitive.
it's like,
fuck
dude,
out of here.
I have a request for you people. Please stop trying to let weakness seep into our martial art.
And it's not even about weakness. I don't like to go
though, because like, bro, this is like Viking shit. It's like you get a new rank, you get beat with it, you get whipped.
The sad part of it is that they could structure that debate in a little bit different faction, however they want to. But you're absolutely right, and I don't like to talk about, you know, you don't give participation trophies. I don't like going down that road because I don't like to start saying that we are softening as a world. We might be, we might not be, but I don't like digging that shit up.
It's like telling a judo black belt not to throw a student after they promote him.
But the thing is there's 100% that rationale based on why they would have. Dude, I have never. I mean, now if you're fucking like, I've seen whippings where they throw somebody on the ground and like they beat the shit out of them. You know what I mean? And they tap the guy unconscious. You know, they take his gi off and they're all like, you know, hounding him. But like, if you're running a gauntlet and like, dude, like you don't have to take your gi top off. No one says you have to. I'm not like if you're running a gauntlet and you got a gi on or you got a rash guard on, and you walk back and forth and you run and your buddies hit you with the belt, dude, you are not going to get anything more than a welt on your tushy.
Just take it, you pussies. Like, seriously. Like, I'm so tired of this. This is the dumbest fucking debate. Come into our martial art and try to take away like the manly shit of it.
It signifies, and again, I don't want to. Right. I don't want to go down that road because I don't like playing that devil's advocate. You know, there is, but I would agree that there is 100% that philosophy involved. But there, in defense of belt whipping, like, come on, dude. Like, it signifies the pain and suffering that we've all gone through as a community.
The idea is that the whip,
belts.
the whipping that you receive, the idea is that nothing, the whipping you're getting is nothing compared
to the ass beating you to get
all
the
of
belt.
the beatings and the blood, sweat, and tears and injuries and all that you've had to deal with for the whole, like, the years-long journey in jiu-jitsu.
Like, we all come together and we all celebrate. And every time you get a belt, guess what? You're getting whipped.
Right.
And I tell people, like, dude, like, you don't have, and like, I even kind of tell my guys, and then, like, we're not savages. There are a couple assholes that go a little bit nuts on it, but like, there are people. You're gonna get a good one from me. I don't give a fuck who you are, unless you know you're a kid or you're a woman or you're clearly not comfortable with this. I'm not gonna. You get your black belt, you're getting shit knocked out of you. I don't give a fuck who you are. But like,
you gotta take it.
But the point of it is like,
it comes with the belch,
dude, man. You can run that bitch like a marathon back and forth, and you're gonna get a couple taps. You know what I mean? Or you can be that crazy person that takes their gi top off, like, and scream, when they get their blue belt. Yeah, exactly. And I mean, you do that, you get what you fucking deserve. I'm going to knock the shit out. You want to play tough guy, you're going to get what the fuck you deserve.
We're going to kick you in the nuts.
Now you're provoking me. But to say
tie your dick in a knot.
To say it's barbaric and to say it doesn't have its place is ridiculous.
Here comes the wonderful Terry.
Ridiculous. Hi, Terry. How are you? Thank you very much for letting us use your facility here.
Yes.
The coffee is amazing. Chill coffee once again.
Aria.
Hi, honey. How are you? We're here with the I'm not gonna butcher her name.
It's Aria.
Donofrio. I got it right. With the Donofrio family. Robbie, I got your name right. Donofrio. He doesn't care. I won't ever get it right again. But we're here at Chill Coffee with the entire Donofrio clan. Chill Coffee, good place. Come here whenever you want. We have a
I don't think she remembers me.
QR code up here, by the way. If you'd like to order to-go coffee, and then you just hit it right here and come pick up your coffee if you're in the Brandon area.
You need to patronize this business so that we can continue to come
exactly,
here.
please. This is one of you guys. Mom, buy some coffee.
Can we like, do the camera around to show the place or no?
That's what we're doing.
Maybe you know what he'll do? He'll do it after.
We'll do a little thingy for you.
He's going to do it after, and then
we're not. We'll fix that in post.
Yeah, well, exactly. We'll make post.
we'll make post. So
what else we got?
One more thing. We're at about 45 minutes. We're getting pretty close. This one's going to take a little time too because we got a really good time. Folks at home, by the way, if you are watching this, I know some of you do. If you're watching this and you would like for us, we do have a hard time coming up with topics. Like there's only so much shit you can talk about, and it's difficult. And because as diligent as we try, we have a Trello page. But if any of you would have a topic for us that you would like for us to cover, just go to the message board. Go to the Instagram page. You can go to the Facebook page. Send us a message. Send us a DM. Comment in the comment sections. Tell us something you would like for us to talk about, and we will try to give you our educated opinion.
Bro, you know how they say when you're in class and you're asking the students if they have any questions for you?
They'll look at you like, ooh.
And then you say, well, there are no dumb questions, right?
Only dumb people, but that's the big deal.
I found the dumb questions. They're all on Reddit.
No, Reddit. I don't get Reddit. Reddit doesn't.
The Reddit BJJ page is filled with dumb people.
Reddit and
saying dumb shit.
Reddit and TikTok, and I don't understand that world.
Sometimes I read, like I lurk and look at the BJJ Reddit, and I just laugh because
yes, they're completely uneducated.
Oh my God!
Fools. But anyway, if you would like to send us any topics to talk about, please do, because we
we
struggle. We struggle with shit to come up. If not, you just got
Tell
me
us
and this idiot
what it is you
rambling
want
on
us to
for
talk
hours.
about, what your stance is on it, and we'll tell you why you're wrong.
Or we'll just ignore you completely. We'll preview the topic and then we'll talk about something else for 20 minutes. But we've got one more. God, I'm still sick a little bit. Got one more that's kind of kind of a big topic, and it depends on how traditional of a grappling establishment you live in or where you're at. It's something that I do, and I'll tell you my answer in a minute. But the question is does grappling and starting grappling exchanges from your knees make your grappling any less or better, or is it something that does it make you ready for self-defense, all the other things that could come from that? And it's something that a lot of people have a lot of different opinions on.
Well, I know where you're going with this, and a lot of times I have people start in a situation where one person is like either on their knees or standing, and the other person is sitting or in the guard. I typically have them start like that. I don't have them both start on their knees because that's weird.
Yeah. Midget wrestling, I call it.
Yeah.
He's like, what are you doing?
And I also don't allow fat people to wrestle in my gym. To wrestle, because I've had 2 catastrophic injuries that were both related to fat people wrestling. Both of them had their ankle.
Is there any way we quantify fat versus non-fat?
Yeah, well, because you can be 280 and not be fat. Like, you're either morbidly obese or you are not.
Do you? I mean, I'm curious how you handle that. Do you actually tell them, hey, you're fat, you can't wrestle today?
I haven't had to yet. But based on the 2 injuries that I've had at the gym, both ankles and both catastrophic.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the foot is now pointing like that.
Yeah.
And it's because they're overweight and they tried to wrestle, and because they don't know how to wrestle, they zigged when they should have zagged and got their ankle taken out. This happened twice, and it was both times it was obese dudes
because of wrestling.
Who had no business wrestling
because they're not mobile enough. They don't understand, and that's kind of the stance.
Sorry, I don't mean to be rude about it. I'm not trying to be, because I'm not exactly like, scrawny or anything. I'm not exactly like, a fit looking. I should be more fit than I am now, but I'm not. I don't wrestle.
Do you have an actual wrestling class?
I don't. I have some people there that know wrestling really well, like Dylan, and that can. When it's time to show stand-up stuff, I bring them in. You
will teach stand-up stuff in the regular class.
Yeah.
See, I don't.
Okay.
I don't, and this is Matt Arroyo 101. Like, I do not teach. On occasion, I will show a few self-defense oriented ways to close the distance, to get the underhooks, to be able to put someone on the ground, the old Hoist Gracie type shit. I will never, and I want to say never because sometimes I do when I'm caught up in the moment, but I hardly ever teach any wrestling in a regular jiu-jitsu class. We have a wrestling class.
Why? Is it for the same reason you don't want people to get hurt?
100% safety. Safety.
Yeah, bro. Unfortunately, like I said, 2 times, and both guys were like screaming in pain, had to be taken to the hospital in an emergency, and they are not walking. Like, these guys can walk, but they're not walking like they used to.
Yeah.
And I can't have that happen. Like, I don't want people getting hurt
for a couple different reasons. I run a business. I don't want to get sued. Yeah.
Bro, one time I had Nicky Rod in the gym and Kyle Kazil, and they were going at it.
I bet that was pretty fun to watch.
Bro, it was crazy. But I was like, this is the only time that this will ever happen in this gym.
Yeah. Kyle's a good wrestler.
Oh my God, they're both insane. I think they went 1 for 1 in takedowns.
Oh wow,
crazy.
He took Nicky Rod. He took Nicky Rod.
Well,
down?
dude, you got to remember, Kyle was he was like
Division
2 from Notre Dame.
Yeah, he was like a 2-time state champion or something. Like wrestled Brandon.
He won the Fargos and all that. Like
he's legit.
He's ridiculous.
But I do not teach wrestling in my regular jiu-jitsu class for the sake of safety. I have seen many, many catastrophic injuries, and I will tell you that upwards of 80% of them come from wrestling. Like, across the board, as a jiu-jitsu ref that is reffing competitions, 80 to 85% of all the injuries I've ever seen come from some kind of misguided wrestling exchange. It's just the way it happens.
Yeah, it's funny because of the big deal that people were trying to make about leg locks when leg locks started getting popular, and it's like, dude, let me tell you something, okay? If you stuck a gun to my head and you gave me a choice, right? Gordon Ryan is either going to put me in an inside heel hook and crank as hard as he can, or he's going to put me in a Kimura and crank as hard as he can, and I have to choose which one. Yeah, I'm going to let him take my foot.
No, of course.
I'm not. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, of course.
I don't understand. Dude, Kimuras are way more dangerous than heel hooks. Way more dangerous.
So there's a few things about the leg lock debate. I want to get back to wrestling. I want to talk a little bit. We'll get back to the wrestling thing. I'm gonna cover this, but I want to make sure we talk about some wrestling things too, because I want to talk more about that. But there's a few things about the leg lock madness and the leg lock hatred that kind of carry over. Is that, you know, the reality of it is that the danger of an arm bar and a knee and a heel hook, you know, really aren't pretty much the same. Like it's the same amount of pressure to pop somebody's elbow as it is to bend somebody's knee. It's not much different. The problem is the nature of the injury. If you blow my elbow out, or even if you blow my shoulder out, like, I can go about my life in a semi-regular manner. I got a sling on, it kind of sucks, or I got a cast on, it kind of sucks, but I can go to work. I can do the things I need to do. If I blow my leg out, especially my right leg, now we got a problem. Now I can't drive. Now I got to walk around on crutches. If it's an extended period of time, my life has drastically altered. And even more than that, like, the big stigma from it, and the reason why the Brazilians hate it, is because it carries over from the early days of jiu-jitsu. Why people that did jiu-jitsu hated leg locks in the early days is because, you know, in the 60s, if you tore your ACL, like, you were a cripple. You know what I mean? They didn't have the surgery that we have now. You couldn't just go see the surgeon, especially if you lived in a country like Brazil. Like, you blew somebody's knee out, they walked with a crutch for the rest of their life.
Where you can get an ACL through the drive-through.
Dude, fucking ACL, like, I've seen guys back on the mat in 3-4 months now. And you go to fucking, like, that fucking strip club / ACL. What's that guy? The comedian guy. Anyway, this is Tampa, baby. We got everything here.
We are the strip capital of the world.
Yeah, you get your boobs done and fucking.
What is it? Strip
club capital of the world.
Strip club capital of the world.
Absolutely.
We have the.
So there's that.
Scores.
So, but
no, let's talk about strip clubs.
Back to we can talk about that. That's not strip. That's another podcast.
In fact, let's do the next podcast.
Scores. That's a good one. That's our new sponsor. Our new sponsor is Scores. even Rod's excited about that. Even Jeff Rod likes that one.
Dude, that would be the best show ever.
So, back to the topic. It would be. It would be fun.
We're gonna do that. I don't care.
I got a guy. We'll figure it out. So, the next thing that we talk about, right? The next thing we when we go back to the debate on, you know, starting from the knees versus starting from the feet, is people like to say, well, you know, you are just not imitating what reality is going to be like if you're starting from your knees in jiu-jitsu. And it's like, dude, like, maybe kinda. But I'm going to tell you one thing, man. Like, if you have, first of all, there's nothing in the world like jiu-jitsu to imitate what real life is, even if you're starting from your knees. Yeah, you should have some wrestling background. I got a wrestling class. You want to take wrestling? Come to a wrestling class. Sign your waiver for that. So I'm a little more high impact. However, even training jiu-jitsu from your knees, first of all, you're simulating that real life scenario over and over again. You're safer, so you're not getting hurt, so you can train longer. And as someone that has been in a great deal of confrontations in the real world, believe me, I did it for a goddamn living. I used to have to throw drunk people out of bars and beat up homeless people all the fucking time at my job. It's what I had to do, right? Ding-dongs do not know how to wrestle less than you do. And believe me, if you're in a situation where you tie up with someone and immediately they sprawl back and they get a whizzer, like, you fucked up already. Like, you are in for a fight. But let me finish. So the point I'm trying to make is the amount of takedown skills you need to get the fight to the ground where you need it to be is so fucking minimal. Just jump in, grab a hold of them, fall on the ground. Game over, you choked the fuck. Bad guy goes to sleep. It's literally all you need. So these people that talk about, well, you're not wrestling, you're not doing real jiu-jitsu, like, you're a fucking idiot.
Yeah,
I appreciate whatever Brazilian asshole made you believe that, indoctrinated you into his world.
I just sent Jeff Rod a photo in text that shows me on top of a dude on the pavement because I had to take him down. Guess what? I suck at takedowns.
Yeah, dude, literally.
If I suck at takedowns, how did I do this?
you know, I know I'm a fucking black belt in jiu-jitsu. I need shooting a double leg on it. You out of your fucking mind? I just grab you and then I fall down, and now
it's
I got
called
you.
Greco.
And now you're dead. Or just grabbing onto you is all you need. That's all you need to be efficient.
That's all I did. I bear hugged the guy outside trip.
You gotta learn how to get underhooks. You gotta learn how to get to the belly. It's gonna go to the damn ground. Trust me, and you're gonna be okay. And if it doesn't, you just shoot the motherfucker, right?
But that said, I would like to to say thank you to our sponsors. Is it time?
Are you ready? You got it? Go.
Yeah. I do. I have this is not one of our sponsors, but I was there today and had some work done. So I just want to say thank you to Johnny Glock for working on my gun today.
Johnny
It was
Glock,
really
if
cool.
you'd like
Yeah,
to throw
Johnny Glock.
That was $100 a month. We can come up with some ways for you to. A couple $100 a month. We can
Johnny
come up
Glock
with something.
it was cool to meet him, and he's got a great shop. And bro, I put one of his triggers in my gun, and oh my god, it's amazing.
I saw you in the corner.
Shout out to Johnny Glock
At the coffee shop. I'm trying not to freak
No,
out.
that's
as
not- I didn't
Sonny
bring a gun
Parlin's
into the
pulling out
coffee
Jeff
shop.
Rod's fucking
Well, I kinda
piece,
did.
like swinging it around. I'm like, what the fuck are you idiots doing? We're at a coffee shop.
This is Florida. Everybody's used to it.
I guess it's hard for me to wrap my head around that. I guess we're rootin' tootin', holster carrying
We
fucking
are rootin'
cowboys
tootin',
now.
motherfucker.
Fucking world we live in, but whatever. So yeah, I like that. Rod's throwing up gang signs. I thought that was fucking great. So on to our sponsors, and then we'll.
Thank you to Chill Coffee for today.
Obviously, thank you to Chill Coffee. Chill Coffee. We're gonna be here from now on, filming. If you want to come see us, by the way, we're gonna be here Tuesdays at 2:30.
Yeah, that'd be cool. To do this live, it'll be like a coffee shop.
Yeah, run through, and we'll put your face on the camera.
What do they call that when people go up live and perform, but they don't like do anything? No, it's
open
not
mic.
Like, it's where they talk.
Beatnik or rapping, jazz.
It's they just basically talk. And
I think he's making this some slam
yeah,
poetry.
slam poetry.
Slam poetry.
Yeah.
I really think we just made that up, but I love you.
No, it's
no,
slam.
I know. I hate slam poetry. As a writer, I love you folks at home. It's just my
That's
own.
kind of
little,
like what we're doing.
One of my own little pet peeves. I think slam poetry is lazy, but that's just be from you. I'll go on. If anytime you got to go boom bazoom, you're not really writing it well enough. Young writers at home, work on your fucking
You hear
creative
that?
imagery.
You slam poetry.
Sorry, we're back to the sponsors.
There goes all our slam.
There goes our slam poetry, right? So real quick, back to our sponsors. Our biggest sponsor right now, our old school sponsor, our sponsor has been with us from day one. We've loved him forever. Mr. Troy Regano from No Judges Needed. Troy is the man. I can't tell you how much I love him. He has done so much for me as a professional jiu-jitsu athlete, right? From day one, he's been my sponsor, always gives me free stuff. He used to take care of me at his other business, Southern Tire Company. We getting 2 plugs, Troy, you fucking prick. But thank you so much for everything you've done, and thank you for being a fan of the show and contributor to the show from day one. We also have Leheel Biogenics. Leheel is a great source for all of your stem cells, any of the peptides. Sonny, what's your favorite one?
The 50793.
50793. It's a good one. Good one. Right in the fucking tushy.
I love it.
BPC 157, CJC 1295. They got TBT 500. All the good stuff.
I got to tell you about a flashback I had yesterday. I saw an armadillo. But I didn't touch it because remember the time I touched the raccoon? I had to get the rabies shots.
I don't, but sounds like a great story.
Oh, I never told you about that?
I don't think so.
Oh yeah, dude. I saw like a raccoon. I was like, oh, little baby raccoon.
And then you got bit by
Come
a
here, little
raccoon. You got
baby.
rabies.
Well, it scratched me, and then they had to give me the rabies shots.
Explains a lot.
Turns out the fucking thing did have rabies, though.
Well, at least you were safe. All right, back to the sponsors. I love you. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about Sonny on the Trello board. Sonny's rabies.
It's not that interesting. But yeah, so I just got shots in my ass.
Next sponsor, we have Classic Coaching. Classic Coaching is really, honestly, and I know I say this about everything, like this new meal plan, he's a nutrition coach. This new meal plan, he does actual life coaching too. He'll do your whole workout plan, all these things to make you feel better. I can't tell you, I just do the nutrition. I can't tell you how much better I feel. Probably the best I've ever felt, even when I was on the TRT, on all the other things I used to take a long time ago.
I need some good food in my life.
Dude, do yourself a favor and hit up Connor from Classic Coaching. This guy is absolutely amazing. I've been working with him for about a month now, and even with the cold and not being able to train at my best for the last 2 weeks, it is the best I've ever felt. I sleep amazing. He is truly, truly awesome. He works with all our fighters over at Gracie Tampa South. Rewire, Charlie Keenan. Charlie's the man. Absolutely the best personal trainer, physical therapist I've ever worked with. I've been working with him for about a year now. He has changed my life, the way I picture working out. He fixed my knee. I thought my knee was going to be the end of me. I had a stress fracture in my knee that was bothering me for well over 5 years. He fixed that, got my hip firing, changed my entire perspective on training, and he's just a fighter. Super cool kid. I love hanging out with him. Charlie at Rewire. Active Health in the Tampa, Newport Richey area. They are a mobile IV.
You're getting money from all these people?
Kind of, more or less.
Like, well, I haven't seen any of it.
Yeah, it's going into the multiverse, believe me.
Every time I come on and do these podcasts, the sponsor list is growing.
Yeah, it's good. It's
but
going.
My paycheck is staying the
Yeah,
same.
it's good. Believe me. I'll show you. I'll show you I'll show you the P&Ls, homie.
Bro, that was me the first time we did this thing.
I know. We're gonna get there, folks. We're gonna get there.
Beautiful mics we're talking into.
I know. I'm committed here. We are going to make this thing happen. But Miss Melinda at Active Health, she does a great job. Comes straight to your house, mobile IV, if you ever need any kind of IV treatment. I mean, I'm telling you, like, she will fire you full of some shit that'll have you fucking running through the streets crazy. She's amazing. Then finally, again, one more time, Chill Coffee. Get your coffee and brand it at Chill Coffee. I think they have some locations other places too. We'll get to that next time.
They do. They have other locations. I'm not sure where, but they have a couple. Chill Coffee does.
You ready to call? I'm super manic tonight, folks. I apologize. I don't know if I took a breath for the last 2 hours. I'm traumatized. I drank too much coffee. Sorry if I took you down that road.
His eyes are wider than normal.
Talk about some more.
Like I can see the whites of Kevin's eyes. Normally, I can't see the whites of your eyes.
My eyes are wide.
Today, they're wide.
Ready to go.
Crazy. I'm scared of you today.
I love. Don't be scared. I love.
I don't
want to
roll with you when you look like that.
I love you, boo boo. Well, Sonny, honestly, this is fun. I'm excited about this.
I told you this was a good idea.
I love you, Sonny.
Now, the question is, will Robbie allow us to come back?
For allowed to come back again. Exactly. Well, next time I think we'll have our ducks in a row.
We'll have it dialed in a little bit better.
Took us a little bit
Jeff
longer.
Rod's like, no, we won't.
Took us a little bit longer to get it figured out.
We suck.
I think that's it, guys. Thank you so much for putting up with us tonight, Sonny.
Jeff
Rod, cue the music. We will see you when we see you next week. Check out the website. If you haven't seen the website, we got Andrea Tang writing great information for us on Facebook, Old Man Grappling Hour. Go to the YouTube page, YouTube, Old Man Grappling Hour. Like and subscribe. We need all of your help to make this thing fucking work. Let's do it, guys.
Dude, I look so fat on this.
Instagram. Go on to Gram. I think we got TikTok too. I don't fucking know. Anything on social media. Go out there and look for us. Old Man Grappling Hour. Deuces.